Hi, I'm Cash, and I'm here to talk some football. With my over 20 plus years coaching experience, I like to break down games, goals, and teach you what you can do right, what they're doing wrong. So hopefully you can use that in as you go forward. So you can either use it when you coach, or maybe as you want to become a better football player. Right now, we're doing Premier League edition of good goal versus bad defending. Fulham against Brentford. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm really looking at this and it's just awful. So this is a classic example of Fulham as a team that's been taught to coach the modern way of playing football, but doesn't know why, how, what and where. So what's going on here? Obviously he's passed the ball into here. What's the first thing you want to do is with a ball is go forward. He has options to go forward. As you can see, he's not going to do that because that's not what he's been coached to do anymore. So actually to play the football, look, all he has to do is walk forward here and he's into that area there. Doesn't do that. Takes a touch, turns around and passes it backwards. Blind passes it backwards, mind you. Look at this guy. He's just there waiting. Absolutely waiting. This guy didn't even look. He could have easily passed it in between the lines here, gone forward and gone in behind. But the coaching nowadays in the Premier League is so bad. To the average morons watching, they go, oh yeah, look, they're passing the ball. No, they're passing the ball around with no purpose. They're knocking the ball around to the back for no purpose. He has a perfectly good, forward pass there to start an attack, and he doesn't play it because he doesn't know what he's actually doing. It's like when I can remember when I was coaching in China, and one of the most frustrating things were ever is even though how fast the kid was, he could beat someone, or even in the pro levels, they would never beat the player. And why not? Well, because they're supposed to keep the ball. Yeah, but you can score a goal. The game's about scoring goals, not keeping the ball. And this whole mindset is changed and broken. There is time to pass the ball and keep it and move it about, but not when you've got two players you can easily hit. So he passes the ball backwards. Bosch, oof. Another, guess what? Terrible decision because he doesn't really want to receive the ball and he doesn't really know what he's doing. Immediately his hand's gone up because he hasn't taken a touch. He's not really in control of what he's doing and he's panicked because he's not comfortable about what they're doing because it doesn't actually fit properly with the way that their team or their players play because the level has changed. So the pressure is higher. So the players are more athletic and they're more in their positions better. So it's much harder to get away with doing what they're doing here. Bosch made a mistake, panicked, and before you know it, this guy's run off. I don't know what the keeper's doing. Like honestly, you're done, mate. I know you've got to come for that pass, but also, poor keeper. He made to look like a right chump by this centre back, and he's made to look like a chump by his centre midfielder. So everyone will blame the centre back for that mistake. But it's actually the centre midfielder who should never, ever been passing back to him in the first place. He wasn't expecting him to receive it because the centre midfielder had time, space and a pass to pick out and he did none of them. Next thing we know, Bosch, 1-0 and away we go. Let's have a look at the next goal and see what we can find. Here's the next goal we've got. It's a penalty. It's probably like the 15,000th penalty this season so far. Here we go. Let's have a little look at it and see what we think. I really didn't do many of these last year, but I think I'm going to have to do them all this year because there seems to be a penalty on every second goal. Here he goes. He's gone in at him. See, to me, it's not really a penalty. He's gone shoulder to shoulder, sort of hip to hip, but because the guy's taking a shot at the same time, he's completely off balance. And it's not necessarily the defender's hit that's made him off balance. It's the guy's just got both feet off the ground. Look. When he's striking the ball, watch. He's gone to hit it. Both feet are off the ground. He's made a meal of it. I don't think that's a penalty, boys. Honestly, I think it's a bit of a coming together, bit of a collision, but yeah. And obviously he sticks the penalty away. Let's look at the next guy. I'm going to comment on the penalty because he does put it in a good area, right about there. Let's have a little look. Yeah, perfect. Keeper can't save it, even if he dies for it. Yeah, well done, one young man. A lot of penalties in the Premier League have been bad this year as well. They've missed a couple, so it's good to see someone actually putting it into the corner and knowing what he's doing. Okay, here we go. It's a simple break going on down this side. This defender here is not goal side, which is clear. He needs to be there straight away. He needs to be looking. Look, you've got a player here that needs to be back in here. See what he's doing? He's jogging with this player and thinks his job's over because he's marking a player. He's not. His job is actually this player in front of him because this guy's job is actually to cover all the space between this guy, that guy there. Sorry, I'm just booming it right up, and that guy there. So let's see what happens as we move this forward. Right, if you're in this situation, right, let's go back. Do you see that centre back? See what he does? Right, if you're in this situation and you're the centre-back, there's two things you need to do, and he's not done them. One, he's looking at the ball. Fine. Second thing, turn and see what's behind you. If you don't know what's behind you, you can't commit to this front post area here. What's your goalkeeper going to commit to? The front post area there. Okay, great. You know he's going to stop that. So you really want to hold back. You don't want to come into this zone here. Watch his reaction. Watch where his feet go. Watch as he moves. Boom. You see him. He's starting to move forward. Boom. Oh. Now he's settled. He's stopped. He's in the same position as his goalkeeper. If the ball goes to there, the goalkeeper can still get to it. What he hasn't done is seen what's behind him. And do you remember that player that I told him he should have been running and tracking the other guy? Doesn't do it. And it's a simple tap in. Let's look at this guy making his mistakes as well. Let's just go back. Right, here we go. So we can see if he's actually sprinting. He does slow down though. Do you see he does a little half shimmy step? He doesn't just sprint back. Let's show you that little shimmy step. You'll see it again. Watch. Oh, there it is. You see it? He's not quite sure where to go, and he just doesn't sprint all the way back and cover. Now, both of them are stupid, to be fair, but we'll comment on these two clowns in a minute, getting beaten 2v2 in a minute. But right now, we're just focused on the two centre-backs, where he could have actually been back here because he knows the keeper can cover that space for him, but he doesn't do it, and he could have made more of an effort to track the run, which he doesn't do. Now, let's look at these clowns and see how they get beaten so easy out here wide. Okay, Bosch. Does him with a little through ball through there. Oh yeah, because he's not goal side. Now his whole job is to cut the line off. That's his whole job right now. Because this guy's on this side of him, his whole job is to cut that side off there. That's all he can do. Let's see if he does it. Let's see if he gets there. Does he run? He tries. Oh, he tries. He's just not fast enough. Fair enough, mate. You tried. You're just too bad. Yeah. His positioning was already wrong, so he couldn't counteract with it. Like a lot of defenders, certain players in the Premier League get away with it because they're fast enough. Kyle Walker does all the time. He can afford to be out of position because he's fast enough. He can recover, and when that mistakes happen, he can regain, the positioning that he needs. He can get goal side quick enough. But there we go. We'll see you next time on another Cash Talks Football.